Hey YouTube, my name is Marcus Russell, and this is the Marcus Russell Show. Um, as you know, I'm a millwright by trade. I do like construction work. When I first started making $1,000 a week, I was like, man, I'm rich. And then I worked and got more talented and picked up more skills, and then I started making like 2,500 a week. And I was thinking, okay, I'm doing okay. But while I was making that 2,500 a week, I was working with people who was making 5,000 a week. So then I was like, man, this 2,500 ain't nothing. And it just makes me wonder, like, is it ever enough money? Is it ever enough money? Like after you get $300 million, like Nancy Pelosi, like after you get 300 like Nancy Pelosi, and you got like vineyards to make your own wine, you got helicopters, private jets, $1 million estates. What's next? Like what's next after that? Well, for Nancy Pelosi, it's investigation. Yep, that's what's next. All this time I've been saying because of the preemptives that nothing was gonna happen to her, but YouTube, I might have been mistaken because the whole time I was basing this opinion on like the inside trader stuff that she's been doing. If you don't know, she's like a guru in the stock market. As a matter of fact, like I said in another video, she has an app named after her called the Nancy Pelosi Stock Tracker, and it basically just tracks her stock movements. But check it, it's not even about that. It's not even about the stocks. It's about the NGOs, y'all. The non-government operations, yo. Yo, follow me as Elon takes us down the murky swamps that is the US government. And yo, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Let's get right into it.
Meanwhile, Doge may have just found their next target. Elon Musk says he's now focusing on members of Congress who became, quote, strangely wealthy while in Congress.
They'll send the money overseas to one NGO, then it'll go through a bunch of them, and then I'm highly confident that a bunch of that money then comes back to the United States and lands in the pockets of the people you just mentioned. It doesn't go directly, but let's just say that there's a lot of strangely wealthy members of Congress. I'm trying to connect the dots of how did they become rich while earning, how'd they get 20 million if they're earning 200,000 a year?
Great point. Our next guest's app tracks which stocks politicians are investing in. Co-founder of the Autopilot app, Chris Joseph, joins us right now. Hi, Chris.
Hey, thank you for having me.
It's good to have you. You know, when we put up the members of Congress's salary, it's a couple $100,000 a year for the most part, about. And yet we hear about some people who came in, didn't have any money, and then by the time they've been in the House or the Senate for 20, 30 years, they were super rich. You've been tracking that. What have you found?
Yeah, you see one, you kind of think it's a coincidence. You see two, it's like, okay, things are getting weird. And you see three or four, it's like, all right, well, now what is actually going on? And it's great to see that Elon and the Doge team are actually finally starting to look into this. We track specifically the trades and kind of the public filings of their disclosures around their financial statements. And there really isn't too much that you could see on the actual stock trading side. However, there's not much that you can really see into the spouses and the dependents of those politicians. So right. If I were Elon and I would kind of recommend where to look for the for some suspicious stuff going on here, I would go right to the spouses and especially especially the spouses and the children as well.
Right. And, for instance, Nancy Pelosi, when she came into office, she had a fraction of the amount of money she's got now, but her husband, venture capitalist, invested in a lot of different stocks and made just a jackpot of money. And that's one of the reasons why so many people in Congress have said, we got to stop with the stock trading. But famously, Nancy Pelosi has said, no, you know what? We're going to keep doing it.
Yep. Rules for me and not for thee. The funny story about how all that even started, too, is before the Stock Act even happened, these politicians were allowed to do literally whatever they wanted. And part of the reason why she became kind of the poster child of this entire thing was she was able to get exclusive access to the Visa IPO at the time, back in, I believe it was 2009, 2008. And it was through her husband. Her husband was able to put in a certain amount of money before those shares became public for the general public to buy. And that was the largest IPO in history at the time. And she made a killing on it while the other American people were not able to do it. How did her husband get that access? Might be because of her.
Yeah, but Chris,
Yeah. Off top, when they talk about wealthy politicians, the first person who comes to mind is Nancy Pelosi. Although Nancy Pelosi, like I said, is not the richest Congress person in Congress. Rick Scott, Republican from Florida, he actually is the richest. He's worth about in between 500 and 800 million dollars, but Nancy is the number two richest at 300 and something million dollars. And like he said, look how much they make at max 200,000 a year, you know. But like they said, it's the spouses and it's the inside trading. One time Nancy made like a couple $1 million just in one day with the tech stock that she got to buy. This is recently, but like he said, it's either that or the kids. Alvin Bragg's daughter made $1 million for her Stop the Trump non-for-profit organization. Like, come on, your daughter runs a non-for-profit organization and gets $1 million at the same time while you're got Trump on trial. Like this lawfare stuff has got to stop. And I'm glad. See, at the whole time I was saying because of preemptives, nothing's gonna happen to her. But now they're gonna just start following some of these leads and then just get who they can get because everybody's not preemptive, you know. And like I keep on saying, I should my whole life I care about money. I'm not gonna lie, I'm very superficial. I want a lot of money. I do this and I still work every day because this doesn't afford to pay everything. You know, I have real bills and real goals that cost money. But I should have been in legislation. I would have got me some of this. I know where the cookie jar is at. I would have got me some cookies too, America. I hate to say it, I would have. I'm one of them people. I would have got honest. I would still try to help my constituents, but I would have got some of them cookies. Everybody else been getting cookies. So let me know what you think in the comments. Until next time, peace.
Taxpayers $150 billion.
Check this out, y'all.
I'm excited to announce that we anticipate savings in FY26 from reduction of waste and fraud by $150 billion. And I mean, and some of it is just absurd, like people getting unemployment insurance who haven't been born yet. I mean, I think anyone can appreciate whether, I mean, come on, that's just crazy.
I know that was just 1 year. All right. Doge also found hundreds of millions of dollars in fake unemployment claims. Get this, guys. Since 2020, over 24,000 people over 115 years old claimed $59 million in benefits. 28,000 people between 1 and 5 years old claimed $254 million. Nearly 10,000 with birth dates over 15 years in the future claimed $69 million. And in one case, someone with a birthday in 2154 claimed $41,000. Because now apparently we're all time traveling. And yet Democrats are still trying to run Elon Musk out of town.